trial and improvement. We need to try and get the closest that we can. It actually tells us we want to get our answer to 1 decimal place. Now, sometimes they might give you a little table like this. If they don't, you need to make your own. So you need to have a section for your x. Okay, your x is going to be the types of values that we put into this equation to see what we get as the answer. You can have an area to put in to the equation and see what you get, and you're going to have a section so that you can comment and decide whether your answer is too big or too small. Now, we are told that the solution is between 7 and 8, so that is a good place for us to start. I am going to start with 7. So obviously I'm going to substitute in 7 here and 7 there, so I've got 7 squared plus 7. I'm going to use my calculator to do 7 squared plus 7, and I'm going to get 56, so I put 56 in. We're aiming for 62, so we can see that that one is too small. So then I'm going to try 8. So again, 8 squared plus 8, on my calculator, 8 squared plus 8. And again, I'm going to get 72 this time, so we are now looking at a number which is too big. So we know 7 is too small, 8 is too big. A good place to look would be halfway between the two. So if I do 7.5, I get 7.5 squared plus 7.5. Back to my calculator, 7.5 squared plus 7.5. And I am going to get, oh, we've got a fraction this time, so I need to press the SD button, and I end up with a decimal of 63.75. Okay, now that is much, much closer to the number we're aiming at, but it's still too big. Because I know 7.5 is too big and 7 is too small, then I'm going to be looking at a number between 7 and 7.5. So I have chosen 7.3. I've done 7.3 squared plus 7.3, and I end up with 60.59, which is obviously a little bit too small, but you can see how close I am now. Then I'm going to say, right, if 7.3 is too small and 7.5 is too big, I'm going to go between them again. I'm going to try 7.4 this time. And when I do 7.4 squared plus 7.4, I'm going to get 62.16, so very slightly too big at this point. Now, because it's asking us to give our answer to 1 decimal place, we now need to decide, well, which one was actually the closest. And the best way to do this is to go between them. So I'm going to do 7.35, I square it, then I add on 7.35, and I'm going to end up with 61.375, which is too small. Now, if you look at my little diagram underneath, you can see, so we've got our 7.3, which was too small, we've got our 7.35, which was too small, and we've got our 7.4, which is too big. So our answer is going to be between the 7.35 and the 7.4. So we are going to say x equals 7.4 to 1 decimal place. And that's our answer for that question. Okay, I'm going to look at a harder example. This time we've got x cubed plus 2x squared equals 40. It tells us that the solution is between 2 and 3, and it wants the answer correct to 1 decimal place. You can pause this now if you're going to have a go yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to go through it. If you have a look at this, there's no table for you to use, so I've had to draw it on myself. So that is what I'm going to start with. Then I'm going to start by saying, let's try 2 out first of all. So I'm going to say 2 cubed plus 2 times 2 squared equals. Okay, I'm going to type this into the calculator. 2 cubed plus 2, I'm going to use my brackets for 2 squared, and that is going to give me 16, which is too small. So then I try the 3, I get 3 cubed plus 2 times 3 squared, and again I type this straight into my calculator, and I'm going to get 45. Now this one is too big, so again I'm going to be starting to look between them of 2.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this one instead, I am just going to change the 3 each time. So I'm going to change that to a 2.5, and I'm going to change that to a 2.5, and that's going to save me having to type it all each time. So now I'm getting 28.125. So that's nearer than this one, but it is still too small. 2, and I'm going to try 2.8. Then I'm going to just change the bit that needs changing in the calculator rather than the whole thing. That's just going to save me time. And I'm going to get 37.632. So that's much closer, but it is still slightly too small. So let's 2.9. Bits that need altering instead of typing it all in. And I'm going to get 41.209, which is now too big. That's the bit I wanted. I wanted to sort of catch the X between these two, a small and a big. So now I'm going to try 2.85, okay, which is slightly too small. So I can see that I've got my 2.8 and my 2.9 with my 2.85 between them. And I can see that my answer, when I had 2.8, I was too small, my 2.85 was too small, my 2.9 was too big, so my answer is going to be somewhere between the two, so I can say that X is 2.9 to 1 decimal place.